start to the 1989-90 World Cup season will be remembered as the year of the crash. A combination of poor snow conditions and bad luck has sidelined 15 of the world's best ski races in both the men's and women's events. Some skiers will recover in time for this winter. For others, it may mean the end of their skiing career. The infamous camel bumps in Val Gardena, the first men's downhill event of the season, were to claim 4 victims. The most dramatic and potentially serious accident occurred on race day when Italy's Giorgio Piantanida fell on the first camel bump. The crowd hushed as Piantanida bounced over the hard icy piste. The severity of the fall left officials in no doubt as to the seriousness of the accident, and the helicopter was alerted almost before Piantanida had slid to a stop. Piantanida suffered a broken shoulder, broken ribs, heavy facial bruising and concussion. His condition remained uncertain throughout the remainder of race day. After a week of intensive care in Bolzano Hospital, Piantanida was taken off the danger list, but the accident has put an end to his World Cup season. The veteran Austrian Gerhard Pfaffenbichler fell victim to the camel bumps on training day. After a week in Innsbruck Hospital and a delicate knee operation, the Austrian giant must now sit out the winter and review his future in the spring. Val Gardena's most famous victim was Switzerland's Peter Müller. Müller fell on training day on the camel bumps, which were beginning to cause the technical delegate concern. Müller chipped a bone in his left leg and tore the ligaments in his knee. Müller's sidelined for the remainder of the winter and will return to training in the spring. Italy's Alberto Tomba met with disaster on the first race of the European circuit in Val d'Isère. A mistake which cast some doubt over the wisdom of Tomba entering disciplines other than the slalom. The Super G accident and the resultant broken collarbone has put Tomba out for weeks, and he may return to competition at the slalom in Kitzbühel next week. After weeks of solitary and dedicated training, Marc Girardelli started the Sestriere Super G with confidence. But one slip and his fitness was tested to the limit. Girardelli's accident in Sestriere was controversial and potentially the most dangerous accident so far this winter. Some speculate that Girardelli's skis slipped on plastic which had blown onto the course, but the fall could have ended in disaster. Fortunately, Girardelli suffered nothing more serious than heavy bruising and some internal bleeding. Miraculously, he avoided any broken bones and has returned to competition. Girardelli will not compete in downhill until all his injuries have healed 100%.
Yugoslavia's Veronika Saric was going for glory in the GS.
Her drive and determination is looking good down here, though. She's working hard.
Right, the last final phase of gates now. The time on the left will appear. That's what she's got to do. 1:10.71 to take it away from Bucks. Oh, and the skis come off. Now the other ski stayed on. Now the rules say if you keep a ski on the count, the time counts.
But I think she missed the last gate.
I think she looks as if she's all right, which is the first piece of good news. Now watch this again. She comes round this gate.
Ski just comes off. And what about the last blue gate? It looks as though she can't get back over for it. And I think that's an unfortunate disqualification for Saric.
Yeah.
Now it should be easier for her, but that's what we thought yesterday. Keep concentrating all the way, Saric. She's done it again. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed.
The best thing in my life. She's small, dark, quick-witted, and she's not home. The next best thing.
Meet the new Fiesta XR2i, 110 horsepower, electronic fuel injection, sports suspension and ventilated discs. It's a road car with a track record. Could it be the next best thing in your life?
For the scoop is a fool. Everybody's excited. It's On Monday nights on Eurosport, we pick the most thrilling, most dramatic, most amusing moments from the past 7 days and pack them into Eurosport What a Week, the show with the most. So join us for Eurosport What a Week, Monday nights at 9, 8 UK.
Piccard on the left for France. On the right, Zurbriggen. Zurbriggen, the man who won in Val Gardena. They start the top of the Planai stripe on our picture, exactly equal. Over the midpoint jump. And the clock tells the story between the two of them as they come past the red control gate. Nothing between the two men. But watch Zurbriggen and Piccard as Zurbriggen comes round on the lower control gate with a small advantage. Watch the difference as Zurbriggen goes low to his left and Piccard holds the tuck. It's Zurbriggen who loses the advantage and Piccard who gains the pace. Swings round the right-hander. Then he has to change, as do they both, onto their right-hand ski to drive round and the traverse. The final turn coming up into the finish just after this traverse. Piccard on the left, Zurbriggen on the right, both men getting into the tuck. The final jump. And Piccard, you can see here, taking off that fraction of a second before. And it's Piccard who gets to the bottom first. A couple of meters separating the Frenchman who scores the first victory for France in 19 years. But a few moments later, Piccard held his breath as Skaardal of Norway came into view. So now the comparison between Skaardal and Piccard. Again, both men synchronously out of the start gate on our special Eurosport view. Something that we'll show you throughout the season whenever we can. So there's the difference. So as they start, watch those clocks and they'll be exactly equal for you. And there they are, both men equal at this point. Skaardal carrying a little bit of extra speed, although looking ragged. But he's ahead of Piccard, something like half a second quicker than the Frenchman. Through that control gate with something like 3 meters to spare over the Frenchman. Turning 2 seconds quicker. But now Piccard, the man who was better on this section, holding his breath. He had already finished as Skaardal comes down to the final traverse, and that's where Skaardal runs into trouble. Just catching the edge in the soft snow off to his right, sliding out. His chance of scoring the first victory for Norway, gone. The first victory for 12 years. So Piccard, the man who survives at the bottom, records the first victory for France in 19 years.
Mitsubishi challenged Europe's classic RAC Rally and came away the overall winner.